Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and I'm back again for another lovely, transformative video regarding Amberlynn Reid. You know her, you love her, I think you love her, who knows? Let me not apply feelings onto you in this moment. I don't want to talk about how you feel. But hi, hello. While I was gone, which by the way, I was gone again for the second time, and I am happy to say it'll be a while before I take any more trips. Like, the fact that I had a wedding one weekend, and then the very next weekend I had a bachelorette party, one of which was in New Orleans, the other of which was in Las Vegas. Like, my body hates me. My body said, drink some fucking water and eat a vegetable, you bitch. Okay? That's like what my body is saying to me right now. But we're good. We're here. And while I was away in Las Vegas this past weekend for this bachelorette party, Miss Amberlynn Reid posted an nearly hour long video that was just a Q&A. So we're back to the Q&A era. We left it for all of like a week or two, and she said, I'm out of content. I can't talk about my health anymore, although she talks about her health in this video. I can't clickbait my health anymore, so I have to go back to answering your questions about the same 12 things I've talked about hundreds and hundreds of times. So that's what today's video is. Now, I refuse to sit here for an hour, watch this, and film myself watching it, because that amount of editing is just gonna take far too long for me today and what my body and my mind have the capacity to do right now. Plus I still have to live stream today and a number of other things. Okay, so what I did is I already watched it. I took some notes. Click, clack, moo, cows that type, took some notes, and I'm gonna give you all the highlights, skip over the questions that she answers more than one. There were 2 times in this video where she answered the same question twice. It was just worded in a slightly different way. One was about TV, and I can't remember what the fuck the other one was about, okay? Like, I don't understand what she's doing here. And she also thinks that we're really invested in whether or not she's Team Edward or Team Jacob, which I also think is just so silly. I know that Twilight's had a little bit of resurgence as like a cult classic, like on the internet, but like if she really thinks I truly care if she would rather be Team Edward or Team Jacob, she's delusional. So anyways, let's just get on into it. I'm just doing these points chronologically. Like, I originally was like, oh, maybe I'll try to organize, like, this part of the video will be about her health, this part of the video will be about wifey, this part of the video will be about whoever, whatever. But no, I'm just gonna go chronologically through this, so hold on tight, grab a bevy, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever it might be, and let's get to. So she starts off the video talking about how she generally is feeling better. I think that's the gist that I got from it. The most important part of this is that I do think it's helpful that she provided a distinction in what she means when she says she's going to therapy and things like that. I still think she should probably use better words when she's actually talking about this in like vlogs and stuff, but she does give an explanation.
I do want to speak about, people are confused because I say that I go to therapy, I say that I have a psychologist, and I say that I have a psychiatrist, which is all true. I have a psychiatrist that is the one who prescribes me my medicine for my anxiety and my bipolar, which is Lamictal and Zoloft. And then I see a psychologist for therapy because I need more intensive therapy and not just like support therapy, because there is different versions of therapy. Too long,
didn't watch. She has both a psychiatrist and a psychologist. The psychologist is the one that she got through the eating disorder clinic, and there you go. And you might be surprised, but she did actually see a lymphedema specialist.
Did you see the lymphedema specialist yet? Actually, I did. Today was that appointment, and you guys will never believe what happened, what I was told, what I learned. You guys will honestly be so shocked. I'm not going to talk about that in this video because I want to do that for another video, because it's kind of like a lot to absorb. I learned a lot. I want to share a lot with you guys, and I feel like hopefully from this appointment my life is about to change just a little bit, and I think it's for the better. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that regard as well.
And what you won't be surprised about is that she's not going to tell us in this video what happened in that appointment, and she's just gonna continue baiting her health so we come and click on a future video. So later in this video where she gets mad that people are speculating on what's happening with her health and how like people are confused about what's happening with her health, and she doesn't seem to understand that when she just vaguely teases things like this that it's confusing to people, you'll have a better understanding. And she does bring up the lymphedema specialist again much later in the video where she teases something about her lymphedema specialist telling her that there's a reason she can't lose weight.
Plus on top of that, I actually learned something today when I went to the lymphedema specialist that I will talk to you guys about. You'll just see. I don't want to get into it right now, but there are things that are preventing me from losing weight. I knew I wasn't crazy. But
again, no details, so you know, just plan on clicking on a future video. No confusion could happen from that vagueness. None at all. She also gives this like long response for why she doesn't post every day.
So why don't you post every day? So as much as I would like to, I have no idea what I would post. I mean, the simplicity of sitting down and like doing mukbangs or like constant Q&As, or just like very short, quick vlogs of my day. I just don't see you guys enjoying that if it's daily. Sometimes I feel like quality over quantity. I'm not saying the quality of my videos is all that great.
Which seems to be the case that she thinks that people wouldn't enjoy her low effort content that she would have to make in order to post every single day, even though the stuff and type of content she's talking about is the same stuff that she posts like every other day, you know? It's the same kind of content that she's posting right now, just she's not doing it every day. So I guess her reasoning is that it would be more boring if she was posting about it every single day. I don't know, I don't get it. And when she says that she's trying to prioritize quality over quantity, bitch, you just have to laugh. Girl, you just have to laugh. And one of the more infuriating parts of this whole video is where she tells us that we just need to settle for mediocrity and that she's not changing.
We all know I've always been a mediocre YouTuber. That's never gonna change. I've been on YouTube for a decade. Sis ain't changing. Like, my videos are always gonna be mediocre, so expect that.
And it's honestly very concerning that you're just so comfortable with professing that. Like, Amberlynn is somebody who has consistently talked about how she's passionate about YouTube and passionate about doing this, and she loves that this is her job and things like that, and she does talk about that more later on in the video. But like, if you are passionate about something, you generally want to do something to improve it. You generally don't settle for mediocrity. You generally try to be the best that you can at those things. And it's just so baffling to me that she's so content. I mean, not baffling, not surprising based on what we know about Amberlynn, but it's just like, I don't know, for me personally, I'm somebody who's always tried to work on and improve some aspect of my content along the way of like making YouTube videos. And I hope that shows in the way that like I provide commentary, to the way that I like my videos, edit my videos, film my videos, all of those things. I hope you have seen improvement, change, evolution over time. I would hate to just like stop growing. And I think that's true for a lot of people who are artists, who practice a craft, right? Like, musicians practice to continuously improve and get better. People who are writers, which is also Amberlynn, continuously write, edit, revise to try to improve their work. So I don't see how that's any different from YouTube. Like, why wouldn't you want to constantly be improving the content you're putting out on your platform that's making you money, that is your craft, that you're so passionate about? Like, it really makes it even harder to believe that Amberlynn is truly passionate about this. And I think she probably believes she is, but I'm not convinced she's ever been passionate about anything based off of this. Like, if this is what she's saying she's passionate about, then I would hate to see what else in her life she's doing. There was somebody that felt it appropriate to ask about how to heal from getting cellulitis.
I said I have cellulitis for the first time. How long before it starts to heal? My leg is so red. So I want to say, please just listen to your doctor. And I know for a fact you're prescribed antibiotics because everyone is. take them correctly. That is a big one because your body can actually get used to antibiotics, mainly if you take them incorrectly, which is usually you not finishing them, which a lot of people seem to do, which is really weird. But I am so like particular about antibiotics. I have to take them perfectly because I know that I get cellulitis really easily.
And honestly, I don't even care what Amber Lynn's response was. This is completely directed at that person. Why are you asking Dr. Lynn Medicine Woman for medical advice? At what point on her channel has she demonstrated any kind of reasonable, like, reaction to anything medical related on her channel? And then you want to listen to her lecture you about taking your antibiotics? But anyways, Amber Lynn loves YouTube, but doesn't like the negative comments because they're kind of like intrusive thoughts for her.
Someone said, you really seem like you're not happy doing YouTube. Do you still have love for it? I will always have love for YouTube. And I think what makes me probably come off as not happy doing this anymore, besides the shit that I'm going through in my real life, is probably, honestly, when I think of YouTube, I think of the hate. I think of the harassment that I've gone through, that the people in my life have gone through just because they're associated with me. I think of the bullying and the fat shaming. I think of the reaction channels, the slander, the speculation, the rumors. And it puts me in a really bad headspace. And I'm trying my hardest to get out of that and realize that there's more to YouTube. There's more to the audience who is watching me than just the negativity. It's hard because sometimes you can be told 100 different times, like, oh, you're a good person, or I support you, or you're in my prayers. But then you see that one comment that's like, you're fat, you're a liar. And it's like, that's the one that sticks with you. It's hard. Sometimes I'm more numb and sometimes I'm not. By me thinking subconsciously and honestly, it's like intrusive thoughts. Like I don't choose to think of the negative.
And honestly, I do feel that. I feel that for sure, for sure. There have been times where it's like I saw a comment about myself and I just like couldn't stop thinking about it. I think that that is actually probably a very reasonable way to respond to some of the nonsense that people put on the internet. But that takes me back to the advice I always give, which is set some boundaries. You know, if you don't want to completely ignore the comments altogether, then set boundaries on when you're going to look at the comments. You know, that could be like the time frame, which she said she had once upon a time, where you're going to only read them for the first hour. Or it could mean I'm only going to take a look at the comments when I know that I'm in a good mood, in a good place, and I am capable of critically reading through these comments and realizing what ones are good for me and what ones aren't. But that does lead to the next question she gets, which is about whether or not she'll read comments.
So I'm officially done reading the comments. I am done going into my Instagram DMs for now.
And I do support her in taking time to not read the comments, like as long as she actually does it. You know, like I said, I think that that is a great boundary to set, especially if you know that that's contributing negatively to your experience, your mental health. But I do just want to say that she's being a little probably disingenuous when it comes to the reason that she's turning off or not turning off the comments.
And I know a lot of people can say turn off the comments. What's the point if I'm just not going to read them? I'm going to leave them up because A, you guys have free voice. It's freedom of speech. Say what you want, but I don't have to read that.
Like, sure, free speech, whatever, whoever, whatever, okay? But really, truly, like, most YouTubers know that when you turn off comments on a video, your engagement declines and the YouTube algorithm isn't gonna recommend your videos to people. And for the first time in the video, but not the last, we are not going to talk about her ankle, but we totally are.
It's because I had to heal from my ankle. My ankle's pretty much healed, y'all. Like, I'm walking, I'm doing my damn thing. But then this whole breathing thing started happening and the pain and the cough. So that's also another reason why I haven't been like out and doing things. I really hope that soon enough, I could just, everything can get figured out and I could start feeling better and start just doing more.
So hopefully we'll get to see some more going out and about vlogs once she feels confident that her lungs are in a good space. And Honestly, I can't wait. We desperately need something that's a little bit less boring so I can transform it on this channel. And I'm so thrilled that she included the Skyrim troll question.
Someone asked, do you play Skyrim? I actually currently do not play Skyrim. I used to play Skyrim when I lived in Virginia, which was so long ago. Oh my God, I lived in Virginia forever ago. How long has it been? It's been like 8 years and I was obsessed with Skyrim.
Although I'm shocked to hear that Amberlynn has played it before. It doesn't necessarily seem like something Amberlynn would be interested in. So I can only assume it was something that Crystal at the time really loved and enjoyed, and because it's Amberlynn, she was trying to take on Crystal's personality and interests. Although I still haven't forgiven Amberlynn for not wanting to go see Black Panther with Becky, which may seem unrelated, but that's like the only time Amberlynn has never tried to like take on the interests of her partner at the time, and it pisses me off because Black Panther is a great movie. Now the next part of the video very quickly is about some rumors regarding a cat named Gracie that she had with Destiny way back towards like the beginning of the Destiny era.
There was actually a point, was it a couple days before Gracie officially ran away, where she ran outside and I had to go get her. This happened when Destiny would open the door. It happened when our roommate would open the door. It happened when friends would open the door. It was anybody and everybody. And it was something that we really had to focus on. Like, if that door was being opened for any freaking reason, we had to pay attention and we had to make sure Gracie was not getting out. The roommate was a stripper who worked weird hours, very weird. Would come home 4 a.m. in the morning, would come home drunk, would come home high, with friends, several people, her boyfriend. It was that night prior that she came home around 3 a.m. with her boyfriend. And before Destiny and I went to sleep, we said goodnight to Gracie. It was like typical routine. That is what we did. Anyways, so it was the roommate who did it. Destiny knows that, I know that, roommate knows that, and people are saying that like I had this whole Wasabi fund, so I got rid of Gracie because I had enough money for a cat. Absolutely not. So after Gracie went missing, we went searching and we searched for a while, and Destiny brought up to me, let's get you a cat. I was actually quite shocked. We went to this other place, which was called Petland, and we met Wasabi. His name was actually Bogart, and we met him 3 months old, and we both fell in love. Destiny needed that cat. Destiny needed that cat. We did not have money currently for that cat. So at the time, I actually had a 3DS that I was obsessed with that I sold for Wasabi. And I also had an iPod because yes, those were popular back then. This was like 7 years ago. So iPods were still a thing. Sold my iPod. So I sold 2 devices that I absolutely loved because I thought Wasabi could not only help me, but also help Destiny.
And admittedly, I'm very rusty on the Destiny lore. I did watch at the time, but it's just been so long that I don't remember every single little thing that happened at the time. I mean, please cut me some slack there. But honestly, my take on this is that it was a mutually beneficial decision for both of them to get a new cat, and whether or not Amberlynn intentionally let Gracie out or not, like, Destiny was a collector of animals, and I mean that sincerely. Like, while she was together with Amberlynn, but also after. I remember after they broke up and Destiny was with Dana, they went through like 2, 3, 4 cats or dogs. That's me using the best of my memory, but I just remember that they were constantly just like introducing new animals to social media. And so it wouldn't surprise me that they both benefited from getting Wasabi at the time. And it's also so wild to me that Amberlynn, like, to this day wants to be viewed as such a martyr in that situation, and like wants to be like the good girl, like, oh, I sold my 3DS and my iPod so Destiny could have a cat and it really changed her life. I'm just like, please, please, girly, please. But also, I don't know, this whole situation is an example of like, you know, there's so many things that have happened more recently in Amberlynn history, and not to say that this wasn't an important part of Amberlynn history, but it's like, I don't know, maybe now we can finally just, like, move on from this, whether you believe her or not. Like, this is probably as good as a response as you're gonna get from Girly when it comes to this particular rumor. And we're gonna hear a lot from Faline, aka Wifey, or a lot about her in this video. Lots of questions answered about her in this video. And that starts with a story about Amberlynn forgetting her birthday.
Which reminds me, so last year, it was Faline's birthday, and I forgot that it was Faline's birthday, and I didn't say happy birthday until I realized that she was mad at me. She wasn't talking to me, and I said, what did I do? I was like so confused. I forgot her birthday.
Which I do think is strange that Faline would be so passive-aggressive and just not talk to Amberlynn. Like, ooh, y'all have a real healthy relationship if you can't directly communicate to your girlfriend that the reason you're upset is that she forgot about your birthday. Like, that is, woo, grounds for a great relationship there, besties. And then we find out that Amberlynn's goal is to marry Faline.
Are you going to marry your girlfriend? You know what? That's my goal. So, put a ring on it. So many questions.
So many.
I still have more.
How many more you have?
5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30!
Yeah, did you even do any?
I did 25.
We ain't even done nothing.
Oh, this is longy.
I love you.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to love that she talks about how incredibly long this video has been already, and yet includes like this throwaway content garbage nontent where she's just sitting there applying lip gloss and talking to Faline. And then, again, we're no longer talking about it, but Amberlynn Reid answers a question about her dangling ankle.
How could you walk home with a dangling ankle? Excuse me!
My sword just switched.
So you heard that? Y'all, listen. Listen. When I first fell, she's over there going, when I first fell and I looked at my ankle, my foot said, I think I lost the power in it. You guys don't even realize until I realized what was happening. I was finally in tune with myself and I was able to stand up, I don't know how, through all the adrenaline and walk home. I was not too far from home. I was literally just down the street. Like it was nothing. So it's not, my ankle wasn't like dangling off of my body. It was just like when I first fell and I really hurt my freaking ligaments. Stop laughing.
We have the best question award.
Is that the best? Okay, you won the best question award according to Faline. That's literally what happened. My ligament said, burp. I don't know how else to explain it. It wasn't like dangling off of my freaking leg. It was just, it didn't have any, like my muscle said, nope, not working today. I don't know how else to describe it, but it happened, okay? Adrenaline really, it gets you. You're like, I'm literally in the middle of the grass. It's nighttime. And I have to get up because I was like, Faline is not going to see me like this. She's not going to help me up. I'm not going to allow it to happen. So all my adrenaline and fear and stuff, it really does like get you going. I promise. Like,
and I just have to point out how, oh, now it's okay that this is so funny when Wifey is laughing about it. But when people are in your comments laughing about it, talking about it, speculating about it, that's too much. But Wifey can laugh about how funny it was that your ankle was dangling, and it's chill. It's no big deal because Wifey is doing it. Like, what? And at this point, Amberlynn does mention that Faline was there to help her. And as I was watching, I hadn't got to the very end when Amberlynn confirmed that Faline was Wifey, but it was pretty clear here that Faline was wifey. Which I should say, a lot of people thought I was being 100% serious in the last video that I made about Feline, and that was all me just joking about all the reasons that Amberlynn could be calling wifey Feline. Not that I thought Feline was somebody completely different than wifey, and in fact, I think whenever Feline first came on the scene, aka that name first came out of Amberlynn's mouth on a video, I'm pretty sure I said, like, yeah, it's probably just some dumb nickname she has for wifey. And then the actually most infuriating part of this video was Amberlynn trying to do the mental gymnastics regarding when she's trolling and when she's not on her channel and how people should be able to spot the difference.
What is one time that you were trolling that your audience does not know that you were trolling? That is a good question. I don't know. I'm thinking hard because 9 times out of 10, when I troll, you guys know I troll, but what it is you guys think I'm trolling when I'm not. That's where we have an issue. And also this brings me to another topic of like, people are like, how are we supposed to take your health seriously or the things you're saying seriously when you've done nothing but troll? Trolling is a character. That's just a character. That's just for funsies. It's for whatevs. It's for, you know, let's have a little like low-key drama, you know, the real deal. Like there's a real side of me that I also give you guys. I don't just sit here and troll all day. I feel like we need to learn how to separate the two. Trolling will forever be a thing. She doesn't come over often. She doesn't visit as much, obviously. But we need to just learn that just because someone trolls and creates a character for themselves doesn't mean that like the real things that happen in their life or the real side of them isn't like valid or shouldn't be accepted, if that makes sense. Because trolling is just for funsies.
And the fact that she says 9 out of 10 times people think that she's trolling when she's not just goes to show that when you build your entire channel admittedly on your part trolling your audience, that is what they're going to come to expect. Like, you set the expectations, you set the groundwork for what people can expect out of your channel. So when you spent so many years of your YouTube career intentionally trolling people to get clicks and views, this is what happens, you know? It's like a little bit like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Went on and on and on saying there's a wolf, there's a wolf, there's a wolf. And then when there was actually a wolf, nobody believed them. Well, bestie, you trolled, you trolled, you trolled, you trolled. And now if you're not trolling, people are gonna just think you're trolling. That's how this works, unfortunately. And you have to do the work to build that trust back with your audience. Like, you literally talk about this being a character for you sometimes, and it's very low-key trolling and it's not that serious. I agree, there probably are very real things that are happening to you in your life, but like when you literally say that you're still like playing this character sometimes, how are we supposed to take you seriously? It's like it's only trolling for you when you don't want people to think that you're like seriously eating a mega-sized bowl of Captain Crunch, right? Like that's one of the examples in recent history that she's given of where she was trolling. Because she said, oh, I didn't actually eat that much cereal at a time, right? So it's only trolling when she doesn't want people to think that she's doing some kind of negative behavior, but it's not trolling anytime she wants us to actually take her serious. That's why this is a problem. We also have to have another conversation about the ER and how she's not mad at them, despite her making several videos about them misdiagnosing her and even continuing to complain about it in this video.
And I'm not mad at a triage team. I'm not mad at the ER. I am trying my hardest to be patient. I understand that they're not there to diagnose fully. Sometimes they don't know. And I think it's fair that if you don't know what's wrong with someone, say that. Say that. Don't assume, or don't just say the easiest thing that you can say.
And per the information in Amberlynn's own video, She said that they gave her their best guess diagnosis of what happened to her and then encouraged her to follow up with her primary care physician to get further answers about what was going on. And I can just tell you from the most recent ER experience I can think of in my head that I was witness to, while we were there, they said, we came to this conclusion about what it could be. However, we recommend following up with this specialty doctor and your primary care physician so you can get further answers about what's going on here. Like, that seems pretty standard because they can only do so much in an emergency room. And she goes on and she says goofy things like a misdiagnosis. When you get misdiagnosed, that's a diagnosis. Or when you get diagnosed, it's like literally just word jumble coming out of her mouth.
When you are diagnosed with something, that is a diagnosis.
Makes no sense. and then she makes a point to say, well, you don't know me outside of what is on this camera.
You guys don't know me outside of this camera. You guys do not know that side of me. You guys have never gone to a doctor's appointment with me. You guys have never heard me talk to health professionals. You guys have never seen me see a doctor. You guys have never seen me in an ER room. You guys have never heard me talk to a doctor about my symptoms. Nothing. You cannot sit there and assume based on biased reasons because you dislike me and you see me as someone on camera, you cannot assume that that's the way I am off of camera.
Well, no shit, girly. No shit. Like, yeah, how are we supposed to know what's happening with you off camera when we rely on learning about you through what you share with us? That's how this works. You are a vlog channel. You share your life, and we base our thoughts, opinions, feelings about you based on what you show to us. And when you constantly leave things vague, you leave out details, you contradict yourself, things like that, that's what leads to people being so confused over what is going on with your health and or other things in your life, bestie. So you can't just like get upset that people don't know what's going on in your life because one, you're confusing, and two, you don't share everything. And when you don't share everything, people are going to start to make up their own speculation and conspiracies about what's happening. Amberlynn also makes a claim that she was the one that requested a CT scan, not her doctor, and that she had to advocate for herself.
As for the partially collapsed lung, you can't see everything on an x-ray. That is why I requested a CT scan. I did that. They didn't tell me, get a CT scan. I talked to my doctor and I said, I want a CT scan. And so she referred me.
And I didn't really remember it like that. Like, when she shared that, I was like, that is not how I remember. So I went back to the video where she shared that her doctor said that the x-ray showed she had a collapsed lung, and where I thought I remembered her saying that the doctor ordered a CT scan for her. And here's the clip.
She's referring me to the CT place so I can get a CT scan. So I actually have to call today and make an appointment myself.
So as you can see in that clip, Amberlynn's doctor, per Amberlynn, referred her to get a CT scan, which to me sounds like the doctor made that recommendation. But I guess there could be a world where Amberlynn said, hey, I would like to get a follow-up CT scan. Can you refer me to get one? And then that could be what happened. However, I think it's reasonable that people think that your doctor was doing the right thing by encouraging you to get one. And regardless of whether it was the doctor's idea or your idea, this is how a doctor should be working and behaving professionally. Like, getting you a referral for a CT scan, whether it was her idea or your idea, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. You're getting further answers, and this is just in general how people should navigate the healthcare system to get what they need. Like, I don't understand why we're getting upset. I don't understand why you're making a big deal about this. There's also an interesting question about what she would ask reaction channels if she had the opportunity to, which does actually remind me a little bit of a question she answered once upon a time of like, what would she say to me if she had the opportunity to, or what would she ask me if she had the opportunity to? But either way, wifey answers first.
Okay, wait, I have a question for you. If you could ask one thing to all the reaction channels, what would you ask?
You know what I would ask?
What?
Are you being genuine?
Are you being genuine?
Like, are these your actual thoughts? Or are you also putting a character on?
Okay.
Like, I know you have your troll in.
Mm-hmm.
You put your character on. You do your thing. And then sometimes you're authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Just genuinely you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same with them?
Right. So I asked Feline this question because I was curious what she would ask, because she knows all about the reaction channels, trust me. And her question is, are you guys genuine? Because she has heard me watch reaction channels in the past, and sometimes they just sound dumb. It's like, are you really that dumb? Like, do you actually think this way? Or is it like a character because you know that this is what your channel is? Like, are you that nitpicky because you have to be? Are you that extra because you have to be? Like, do you actually dislike Amberlynn that much?
And let me just first say, I have questions about what wifey means by also. Like, are you implying that Amberlynn is playing a character? And in fact, like, she does go on to say, like, oh yeah, well, you know, there's Troll Lynn. So she's just assuming because your girlfriend is fake as fuck on the internet that means we're all fake as fuck. Like, I think you played yourself a little bit there with that response, because not just because your girlfriend's out here playing a character on the internet doesn't mean we're all playing a character on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's also so weird that you would include that in this video, considering you were so upset that people can't seem to determine the difference between when you're trolling and when you're being real and genuine and authentic. Feels like you're just trying to stir up more drama and more speculation that you're trolling. And so I have to believe that you are, allegedly. But to answer Wifey's question, this is me, bestie. This is who I am. I will say I'm not, like, sometimes people are like, are you like this at all hours of the day? No, I would be fucking exhausted if I behaved and acted like this all hours of the day. But in general, I'm a pretty high energy person. I'm very direct. I let people know what I'm saying, and I'm very quick-witted and react very quickly to, like, the nonsense in my surroundings at all times. So no, I don't have to be this fabulous, but I am. It's just natural, bestie. There's also an interesting inclusion of Amberlynn saying that reaction channels just sometimes sound so dumb, which is just fascinating that Amberlynn would question why we believe some of the things we believe when homegirls like a flat earther thinks the moon landing is fake and once said that Stevie Wonder wasn't really blind. And you're calling me dumb, bestie? Okay. But Amberlynn's response was this.
Mine would be, if you found a job that you really, really wanted, like, more than anything, and that job went to your YouTube channel, sat down and watched all of your videos, do you think that you would still get the job? Like, truthfully, especially if it is a job working with other people. Or when you think about your YouTube channel, does it make you happy? Are you proud of the work that you put in and the energy that you receive around your YouTube channel based on what you create?
And in general, I think it's like, I've said this before when people are like, Amberlynn could never work another job or whatever. Like, how does she think she would ever be able to work a real life job after this? I think that that's people's own weird projections on this, on Amberlynn, on me, on other reaction channels. It's like hard to say that no other place would ever hire like a reaction channel, Amberlynn, whoever, whatever, just because they had a YouTube channel. In general, I have 2 degrees in education, a bachelor's degree in elementary education and a master's degree in higher education and student affairs. I have several years of work experience, and on top of all of that, I operate and produce a full functioning YouTube channel with 138,000 subscribers. I edit videos, I film videos, I found out and taught myself how to do all of this on my own. I negotiate sponsorship contracts, and I also have to market my channel. Those are all transferable skills that could one day get me the job of my dreams if I should choose, you know what I'm saying? But either way, the last time that I interviewed for a full-time job, I full-on told my future supervisor, one of the reasons I'm taking this job is because it'll give me more time in my evenings to work on growing my YouTube channel. That is a really important side hobby that I enjoy and love to do. And you know who didn't give a shit and actually supported me in spending time building my YouTube channel? My supervisor at the time, who did in fact hire me and loved working with me. And that job did involve working with several people, including students and colleagues and all kinds of stuff like that. And I was very good at what I did. And a lot of people in my comments section lately, for some reason, have been asking a similar question to this, which is, how do you tell people in your real life that this is what you do to make money? Because a lot of people are like, oh, you're a bully, you're being rude, you're being mean, which I'm not doing any of those things, first of all. But I have to tell you, none of it's that serious. Like, anytime people ask me about my YouTube channel, what kind of content I make, nobody has seemed bothered by it yet. And I guess they could all just be lying to me, but most of the friends and personal loved ones in my life are just happy that I'm doing something that makes me happy. Which I guess leads into the second question Amberlynn had to ask, which was, am I happy when I look at my YouTube channel? And I am. I am very happy. I think I've done a lot to grow this channel and build a community that I believe in, and people who are caring and empathetic, who are interested in my content, and who tell me that I've made an impact on their day and things like that. Like, I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the people that have joined me in watching my videos. And I do really enjoy making YouTube content. So I hope that clears up both Wifey and Amberlynn's questions. Since you asked, I'm happy to answer. And then honestly, truly, when people get mad about her clickbaiting things, it's because of things like this. Now, recently people have been mad about her clickbaiting her health, and so an example of that was actually the video I already took a clip from, where she found out that she had a collapsed lung, or what she thought at the time was a collapsed lung. And people thought she clickbaited with that video because the title was something like, oh my god, something bad happened. And then she didn't even get to the something bad that happened until like the very end of a 17-minute long video. And similarly, in this video, it was titled something, there was something in the title about Nikocado, something in the title about getting back with an ex, and something in the title about meeting up with Feline. This was a 57-minute long video, and she only finally brings something up about anything in the title at 51 minutes, and that's when she brings up Nikocado. And then at 54 minutes, she brings up getting back with Destiny. And then finally at 55 minutes, she decides to let us know who Feline is.
Who is Feline? Who the hell is Feline? So, my name's Amberlynn. Feline says, that's not your government. Your name is Amber. So Feline started calling me Ambi, which then turned into Bambi. And Bambi falls in love with Feline. So this is from the movie Bambi. It's a Disney movie. I'm sure everyone's heard of it. But Bambi and Feline fall in love. She just started calling me Bambi, and I started calling her Feline.
Which turns out to just be Wifey and a fun nickname based off of Bambi, which I have to tell you, was in my speculation video. It wasn't my speculation video that it was based off of Bambi. So I just want to pat myself on the back for that one. But of course, even though the title says meet Feline, we don't actually meet her, get to see her, get to do anything with her, except hear her nice, sexy baritone voice off camera. So that's that. I whittled down a almost hour-long video into about, what does the timer say right now? Without editing, 36-minute long video. Well, that's without me editing out all the stuff I need to edit and or add in the clips and things like that. So you're welcome that I shaved some time off of that one. I truly transformed the content, if you will. And that's all I have, you know? We'll see what she has to bring to the table now moving forward, especially because I don't have any more trips to go on, so I can be a little more up to date with things as she posts them. Although I guess I don't really normally post on the weekends anyway, so maybe that is neither here nor there. But that's all I do have time for today, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, and you're brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell button so you get notifications when I post new videos. Make sure to also leave me a comment, hit like, click share, follow me on all my social media, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye!